What is going on, folks? Welcome back to another episode of Flyin Brown's Garage. In today's episode, or today's, whatever you want to call it, we just got done with that thing. Tore the transaxle out of it, figured out why it was locking up. We had one of our screws loose on the diff, tightened all that up, put it all back together. Everything's functioning. We have a refined shifter. It works a lot better now. Of course, clutch system works great. We have brakes on this now, so only thing we need to do tomorrow is put a hot battery in it, put some fuel in it, and we're going to take it around the yard and see how it does. But for now, we are going to drag Shaggy's project in here. It's been a while since y'all seen this one. It's been a while since we've been on mowers in general. Last week's video was, of course, the sheriff mower, but this week's video, Shaggy's mower, we're going to drag it up in here. We got a 6-speed MST 206 transaxle that we're going to throw up in here. We'll show y'all that. Here we have transaxle and all of the fixings to make this unit possible. So let's get this dug out from under here, get it up on the table, and then we'll go drag his mower in the shop, and we'll start tearing out the F&R transaxle and getting ready for our MST 206 6-speed transaxle. Alright, here we got this transaxle out and on the bench. I'm probably not going to do any cleaning on this. I mean, it's just going to be a throw together. Like I said, this isn't my machine. I'll let him, you know, if he wants to dress up his machine, he can dress it up, but as far as I'm concerned, it's just going to get thrown in there. So let's go ahead, open up the door, get this thing drug in here, get it up on the lift, and start getting the transaxle out from under it so we can replace it. Alright, got this unit up in the air. And we need to pull out transaxle. This brace here has got to come out. All this is going to have to come off. It's gonna need a whole bunch of shit. I guess let's go ahead and start tearing some shit off this thing. So we have got quite a bit stripped out so far. The very drive pulley is out, the idler pulley is out, the support for the pulley is, the transaxle is out, the shifter and everything is out, and we also got all our rods and everything disconnected that run up to the clutch. So we are pretty much free for a new transaxle and a whole new belting system as soon as I get the transaxle here out of here. The only thing is I'm not sure if we're gonna have to redo the height of the belt and everything, because that looks like it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. So let's go ahead and get this transaxle out, and then we can assess everything as we go. Alright, let's say give it or take, it took us about 30 minutes and we are down to the frame. So we have no drivetrain in this thing whatsoever except for a engine and a front pulley. Everything has been removed. So I guess at this point what we can do is lower this thing back down, get it on jack stands, and then we can take our plate off here, get that out of the way so we can have enough room to fish our new transaxle up in there. So let's go ahead and lower this down, get it on the jack stands so we can start working on the top side. I say we're done for the night. We've got this thing stripped down and ready for a transaxle. So now that we're done with this, we're going to call it a night. Tomorrow we're going to jump on this first thing, and then we'll fall back to this at the end. I'm hoping that we can get this thing done, minimal work and no issues. So we will see you guys back out here again tomorrow. Alright, it is the next evening. We done finished this video up. Y'all be sure to go check this one out. She's done. Unless something breaks, it's done. Very happy with that one. This one is the next on the chopping block. We stripped it out last night. It has no drivetrain in it except for the engine and the original engine pulley. Well, not the original engine pulley, but the original engine pulley that it had when we started messing with it in this video. So now that we have the drivetrain pulled out, we're going to come through here, lift it back up, and we're going to see how our new transaxle is going to fit up in here, because it is totally different. We went from a very drive FNR to a massive MST 206. I think this is an MST 206. Let's check. I'm pretty sure it is. Most craftsmen of that year carry a splicer? I think this is a splicer, folks. It is not a 206. So this is the same style splicer that my Beast has. So, okay. I guess let's come through here and pull off our brackets and our shifter and probably our pulley, and then we'll see how this thing will go up in there, see if it fits. Hopefully it does. If it don't, we're going to have to make modifications to make it fit, and then we'll see about our trans brackets and pulley and all that shit. So let's go ahead and set y'all up and I guess get the wrench. Alright, we got our new toolkit here. Really like this toolkit. Pretty daggum nice to walt stuff. Well, that's in there. Let's see if I can. Dang. I hope it doesn't snap off. Now, I was legit just about to say, I hope it don't snap off. What happens? It snapped the hell off. Great. Let's hope this other side don't do that, because if it does, then we don't have transaxle brackets. Okay, we got one side. Okay, 1 out of 2 is better than 0 out of 2. Not gonna lie about that shit. Alright, we have a shifter to remove. The bolt is a 7/16. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this bolt back in here after I get the shifter removed itself. So we should be in 6th gear, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, neutral, reverse. That is most definitely reverse, and then we got neutral. So we are in neutral. Now that we are in neutral, we will Alright folks, it's lost all its heat. It's been about an hour or so since I've been out here. I went inside and had something to eat. So we're going to reapply our heat. Try to heat it evenly. Now we'll just try to heat our area with the keyway. It is getting heat back to it. It's taking a minute. Try to heat it this way. Okay. Now what I want to do it's coming. Coming out. It's taking a minute. See if I can't. So this one is usually not the easiest job in the world, so I want to try to get that braced and see if I can't drive some of that out. See if I can't hold it. Split second or two. Enough to. It's coming. Slowly but surely. Just dropped it there. Let's see. Did I just hear some wood in my... wood burn stove? I thought it was empty. You know what? Let's go with a small socket. It's coming. We'll check our wood burn stove real quick. Still oh yeah, there's still wood in there. Heck yeah, I can get this fire going again. Alright. Yeah, I thought I was out. Far from out. There's still some wood down in there, which is awesome. I need that heat. Fire back up. Alright, we were successful and y'all can see the glow coming out from wood burn. So now we can get back to our Transaxle and get the rest of this pulley off so we can get this mocked up in there. Got some good heat pumping out over there now. got this unit up in the air again, and we got our transaxle sitting here. As clean as I'm going to get it for now. And we're going to go ahead and mock this thing up in here, see how it fits. So we're already running into a major issue here. The bolt spacing is not the same. So let's get a tape measure. Because I don't know how bolt spacings is different. It just kind of don't make any sense to me. So it's the small pattern, not the big pattern. So from center to center we have 13 inches. From center to center we have 14. We're an inch off. And that's not good. So from side to side, about 15. From center to center, outer, we're around 16 3/8 to 16 and a half. And this is 15. So that would give us I should be able to make plates and still make this work. So I'll have to make extender plates to bolt in here that come out on each side, enough to bolt the outers on, and that should work. So it looks like we're going to need some framework. I was not looking forward to that. One of the reasons I didn't touch this project till now. I didn't want to fool with it. Oh, don't build off an MTD. They're more pain in the ass than they're worth. Alright, we'll go look in the scrap metal pile. See if we can come up with some metal. It's a good piece right there. Yeah, that's a good piece. Let's cut that down and clean it up. Drill some holes. Alright, we got our piece of metal marked out. We're going to do it lengthways, but no, we're going to drill our fat holes over here, our wide, and we're going to drill our narrows over here. Same with that side. That way it'll be able to reach the bolts there. But it's getting kind of late. The wife should be home shortly. I think I'm going to go ahead and start tying everything up in here and getting things ready to call it a night. Alright, finishing up the night, burning up some old shop rags. Remember, don't leave those old rags with grease and stuff in them in your shops overnight. That's how fires start. I did go ahead and get the battery out of this. Got the battery out of that because it's getting cold. And I got my drill batteries, and they're all up by the door. we'll take them inside of me tonight, put them on charge, and make sure they're not out in weather. And I'm going to let this burn off. And then I will see you guys back out here again tomorrow, working on Shaggy's race mower. Alright folks, next day, back on this guy. Last night we got some metal together and we did not get it cut, but today we're going to do just that, get it drilled out and start getting a transaxle mounted in this thing, because I don't know, there's going to be a lot of fabrication of this, let's just say that, because this doesn't fit in there like it should. So that's going to be the fun part. I kind of got to do some measuring, and I guess I need to figure out where that other axle sits in there. Does it sit on these outer holes or does it sit on the inners? Probably the inners, I don't know. I guess let's figure that out real quick. That way I can start doing some measurements and figuring where our holes are going to line up and all that good mess. Alright guys, so we did a little figuring. We figured out that it actually bolts up here and here. So it is the outer on this side. Of course you see there's only 2 bolt holes on this side. You've got 4 on this side. This typical mower here uses the outer bolt. So that is 14 1/4 from here to here. And the way I measured that, since this hump is here, is we took 2 of the mounting bolts, ran the nut kind of up in there so it'll sit in the hole, but it sits up. So did the same up here, as you see, and that's how we measured our distance across. So we've got 14 1/4 on our original F&R transaxle. On our Peerless Spicer, well, it's a Spicer, not a Peerless. We've got 16 1/4 across, so we've got a 2-inch difference. So that'll be an inch on both sides. So inch over here, inch over here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to go ahead and cut our plate. We've already got it ready to cut. We're going to cut it, and then we're going to go ahead and drill our inner holes, our narrow holes, and then we will focus on our outers, of course, because that's going to be what mounts the transaxle. So our inners are going to mount the brackets to the frame itself, and then our outers will mount the transaxle to the mower, and it should be centered up and should work. So let's go ahead and get us a bracket cut and start making us some extensions. Alright, we got one side done. Now we just need to work on the other side. It should work. I'm hoping the bolts are clear, but if not, we can always leave it bolted, take it up to the shop up there and weld it. So we'll see. Let's get the other side done. I think that's going to work. I've already got one side bolted in. I hope it's going to do the trick. I hope I don't have to weld it, but I don't know if those bolts are going to be in the way or not. So we will find out. If they are, we'll put it in accordingly. If not, we'll send it. I've got both sides in, and that should be what we need. So I'm gonna go inside real quick, take a break. I need some food, and then I'm gonna come back out here and we will continue on our project. All we need to do now is mock up that transaxle, get the holes drilled for it, and then get it bolted up, and then we'll see where we're at. I'm hoping those bolts clear the transaxle. If not, we're going to have to take this thing, tow it up to the other shop, weld those brackets in place while the bolts are in, take the bolts out, and then continue on with our transaxle install. So we're going to take a break, and I'll be back out here in just a few minutes. Alright, we took about an hour break, and we're back out here. So what we're going to do now is I need to get that sitting sort of level somehow, some way, and then we need to see about getting the transaxle under it, seeing where the holes are going to go, drill them out, and seeing if everything's going to clear. So let's do just that. Alright, other side's mounted. I got this thing sitting up in the front. Got a jack under it. Got our ramps and cinder blocks on both sides to raise that front up. We're about to lower the rear, so I'm kind of glad this seat folds. It'll give us our angle to be able to drop this down in the rear, and then what we'll do is we'll drop our jack there down to level everything up, and then we'll go ahead and figure out where everything's going to lie and start getting our holes marked so we can drill those out. Alright, well, unfortunately we are at a standstill. As I thought, the bolts are in the way. So we're going to need to weld that, and I'm going to come through here and weld that down the bottom here and along the back side, and I'll do the same on the other side, but right now I'm going to work on something else because of the fact that I've got to drag this out of here, and I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm not going to do that tonight. So what we're going to do is I need the plate for that shifter, and I don't think I want to use the one that's there and have to cut it. I'm going to go get the one that's off the mower I pulled that transaxle out of. So I think what we may do is go ahead and drag that mower up in here and get that off so we can use it. Alright, we've got our tow rig. Put some gas in it, put a battery on it. Needs some air in the tire though. That tire right there is a little low. Let's put some air in it and we'll go around back, get the other mower and bring it up in here so we can pull that plate off and get it ready to go in place of this plate here, and we'll be that much closer to putting that transaxle up in there and having it working like it should. Alright, we have our tire aired up. Let's go retrieve a mower. Damn. This one loaded up. We're about to drag it in and continue parting this thing out. Technically, I do want to use this as the next mud mower build, but let's go ahead and drag this in the shop. Start getting that plate off. Alright folks, we got this in here, but honestly the more I look at it, the more I really just want to cut a hole in the plate that we have, because of the fact that I'm going to be building that mower soon. Oh, the nut camera was still on. Let's turn that one off. Yeah, I didn't know we were going to, I know we're going to be building this soon, and I just really don't know if I want to have to do all that too. Unfortunately, it's not even close. To me, I'm thinking, let's just take out a huge ass chunk, and that'll give him enough to shift. Because I don't have the blades and the detail shit to cut all that out like that. And I honestly think that's how I'm going to do it, is just cut a square and run with it. Alright, we figured out what we're going to cut. It's going to be so. All that's coming out, and that should give us what we need to be able to shift. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut that, grind it, get it ready, and then we're going to come through and reinstall it, because after I get done with that, I won't have to worry about the shifter not having anything to come up through. So we're going to go ahead and take our screws out here, put them down there on the pulley. and get everything ready for that plate to go back on. So what we're going to do is, since technically that's going to be the next project anyway, because I really want to start building the next mud mower, I'm going to go ahead and just drag this back out. We'll just set it out there in the yard, probably leave it attached to the tow rig. Well, no, I'm going to need the tow rig. Yeah, I'm going to need a tow rig. So I guess we're going to put it back out back. We'll just come get it again when we need it. And yeah, y'all will be seeing this on either the next video or the video after next. We will be building a Beast 3.0, which will be something I can beat on and not worry about it if I don't become too attached to it. And I have that problem everywhere I go. It's like, oh, I'm going to beat on this, it's going to be okay, I'll just beat on it, and then I start to love it, and then I never beat on it. But that's just the cursing of loving old machines, like that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and many others around here. So let's get that outside and get our plate cut for here, so we can go ahead and reinstall that and be one step further to having our transaxle in the lowered into the race mower. Alright, we got our plate ground down. Go ahead and move into place. Alright, so we are in the process of moving our solenoid. I'm afraid that it's going to hit the shifter, because the way the shifter comes up in here, even if it was to bounce around, I feel like it would hit that and possibly arc out, and that's the last thing I want it to do. So I've already got a few wires disconnected down through here. Let's disconnect that guy right there. Okay, now we got everything that I should need disconnected. And now I want to relocate that solenoid. I think I want to put it, well, no, well, yeah, that cable is like seriously long, I do believe. I think it's the negative is the short guy, and the positive is the super duper long bastard. Yeah, I have enough. Okay. Well, in that case, I think I want to move this solenoid up in here. I think that would probably be the best place for it. Definitely the safest place. So let's go ahead and get that relocated up there. Alright, let's crawl up under this unit. There we go. She's in a totally different location. Put it on the side. All the wiring's hooked up. Everything's good to go. So we shouldn't have to worry about that. The plate is in. Everything's been cut for the shifter. So we should have plenty of room to maneuver that shifter back and forth, in and out. So with that being said and done, at this point we have to weld our plates. So I'm going to go ahead and get this down for the night. I guess we'll go ahead and hook it up to our tow rig, drag it up to the other shop, and then tomorrow when it's light out, we'll get out here, weld those plates in, drag it back down here, and start putting in our transaxle. We're going to swab his door. Alright folks, I think we're done for the night. As you see, we got the Shaggy's mower out of here. It is up front by the other shop. We will be getting the bottom plates that I made welded tomorrow. Then technically it'll be set up for two different transaxles. It'll be able to fit an F&R or a 6-speed, which is probably good. So with that being said, we'll see you guys back out here again tomorrow where we will actually be welding those in, bringing it back in here, getting the transaxle in it, and maybe even getting it rolling. I don't know. I have a belt system to figure out, so yeah. We'll see you guys back out here again tomorrow. Alright folks, you just saw us bring it back in here. I didn't film the welding, but it's done. Let's check it out. Got both sides welded in. I gotta clean it up and pull the bolts out. We just got it lifted up, back up in the air. We're gonna clean these up, pull the bolts out, get everything prepped, and then we will get our transaxle up here, get our holes marked, and then start the process of drilling out our holes so we can get our transaxle mounted in this mower for the first time. So let's I think I'm probably going to go and get another ratchet strap just to make sure this thing don't go forward, and we'll ratchet strap it from here to the unit, and that'll give me a little more caution, as I should say. Can't talk today. Alright, we got them cleaned off, bolts are out, everything's in place. Now all we need to do is drill our holes, and then it'll be adaptable for two different types of transaxles. More importantly, it'll fit what we want to put in it, and should be nice and sturdy because that's 1/4 inch thick plate steel. So yeah, let's go ahead and drill some holes. Alright, we have got both brackets welded and drilled out on both sides. So we're about to put y'all on the stand over there on the other camera, and yeah, we'll go ahead and put the transaxle in, see how it fits. hopefully it fits. Alright, there's a transaxle. It looks pretty straight to me. It's bolted in except for the front bracketry. We will get that in there. Looks like it fit in there pretty good. We'll raise it up later and take a better look at that, see how it fits. But it looks to me like everything's kind of sticking out the same. Yep, that's it. Well, it's looking good and it's in there. So right now what I need to do is I need to spend my time going outside with a flashlight and looking for wood, because we're supposed to get ice storm this weekend, and it is Friday, I think. Isn't it Friday? Let me check. It is Friday. We need to gather up some firewood. It's supposed to hit tomorrow and Sunday, and I don't know how bad it's going to be, but if we want to continue to work in here, we're going to have some heat. So let's go get some firewood, get it collected, and then we'll, I guess, focus on the rest of this tomorrow. Alright folks, there's the mower sitting there. I think we already showed y'all that. Gathered up some more boxes. We still have some grease over there for this unit. I'm going to gather up a couple more things for the frost. That way we have what we need to burn in there. Also got a huge pile of wood here. Got it covered up so it won't get wet. And yeah, we got a bunch of wood for the wood burn stove too. So I'm going to gather up a couple more things tonight. That way we're not screwed tomorrow when we come out here. And yeah, tomorrow we can come out here and fire the stove and stay warm, regardless how cold it is, or if it's snowing. If it's snowing, we'll maybe making another video, a little snow ride with the beast. So we will see you guys tomorrow, and hopefully maybe there's some snow on the ground. Alright folks, it is the next day. We went through last night and got the transaxle in this unit. We also went through and gathered a bunch of wood. I did not think it was going to be this cold already, but it is. So I'm glad I went ahead and took precaution. We are going to go ahead and get us a fire started here in the wood burning stove before we do anything. It's like I said, it's cold. So let's get that going so we can get to work and have some heat. Alright folks, we got that window opened up there for the fan. I got the fan directed. It's actually sucking a good bit of the smoke out of here. We have had this thing going for about an hour, hour and a half. It is absolutely cooking, and the dirt is like hot next to it, so I know that's about prime temperature for this old rigged up stove here. But it's working good, and it's pumping us some heat into here, so I'm not complaining. We have since lifted this up, took the wheels off. I cleaned very well the shafts on both sides with a wire wheel. Took all this off, cleaned it, we got all that back on. We're going to grease everything before we go to put everything back together. And I'm also going to clean the keys off. I did the same on this side. Then we came under here and I went ahead and refurbished the brake caliper, the pads, the rotor, and everything else that goes here. I had to combine two different styles of brakes to make this work. This is a Spicer Dana caliper here, but this is a MTD style arm, so it'll still be a pull, so I can use it on the same clutch. So what we did, there's supposed to be a spring that goes here to keep tension back on this, so I ran a spring back, y'all can see it now, and I drilled a hole in the back of the T-case here and the spring just goes in that little hole, and it puts the tension to bring the caliper back to a released position, so it'll still move when you release the brake. But everything's on a spring-loaded shaft system like it was before, and that should work good. I was kind of mocking everything up to see how everything's going to fit. We do still have to pull this transaxle out because we got to do the pulley swap and clean the input shaft there. It is quite dirty. I want to clean that up a little bit up, get it nice and clean so everything slides on and off. And then we mocked up our shifter, went ahead and put it in. It has plenty of room to go reverse, and there's neutral. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's going to be a shift pattern, and that's how it's going to be. So yeah, we've got everything mocked up, everything fits good. So at this point, I do believe we need to pull the transaxle back out and get it ready for the pulley swap. Because as of now, I think that's where we're lying. Actually, what I really need to do is shit. I don't know if that's gonna match up. I may have to do something with that pulley up front, because it's not looking like that's gonna match up to down here. Oh heck no. Where is that thing even lying? That's lying way above the... That may be a problem, guys. The belt system is way above. Never seen anybody run a very drive 6-speed like a real 6-speed, but is that what I'm gonna have to do? Oh, that would be weird. I can still put the clutch system back on it if I need to. Be a strange setup, guys, but maybe that's what I got to do. It's not looking good. I guess let me pull this key out if I can. I don't think I can. Not without a tool. And maybe get up in here and take a look, see with the pulley on it where it lands. And then go from there. Alright folks, it is cooking in here so hot. I was able to take my jumpsuit off and open everything up, and it's just probably 75 degrees in here, and it's like 30 out there. So yeah, it's cooking. I even got some wood in here to keep it dry and hot. That way when I put it in, it's good to go. I just need to make sure it's not cooking it, which it's not, just slightly a little bit. But we're gonna go ahead, since we got the transaxle mounted back up in here. I went ahead and also hooked up the mount for the front. We did get the brakes all hooked up. That's all done over there, except the rod's out at the moment. I got the shifter in also, but I do want to figure out where our belting is going to lie. I did flip the pulley because one side's higher than the other, so I flipped it, which y'all can see in there. It is flipped, so it sits lower, and I'm hoping if I'm able to take this one off and readjust it, that it may give us exactly what we need. straight belt drive, and not have to worry about the very drive 2 belting bullshit. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this pulley off and see if I can't get it to drop down more up into the frame, and then I'll probably run a string and see how level everything is and see if it will or won't work. Fun times. Alright, we got our pulley off. It's right here. I'll have to delete this washer I welded into the end. We'll have to grind some of that down so it'll sit more up into the thing. So I probably need to figure out how much of that I need to take off. Also, we need to come through here and clean that shaft so we can lube everything up so we put everything back together. It's not going to have an issue coming apart at a later date. So, for now, I'm going to go inside and eat because it is dinner time. Actually, it's later than dinner time. But I'm going to go inside and eat, and then I'm going to come back out here and we're going to see about where things need to lie and clean that shaft. And then tomorrow we'll start off with modifying our pulley here and getting it ready to go back up onto the engine and hopefully line everything up with the transaxle. So I will see you guys in a few minutes. Alright, so I've been in here for the past hour or so trying to figure out what I'm going to do for a pulley system. Plus I'm trying to look for the arbor for this specific hole saw bit. I have 2 that call for a 5/8 arbor, and it fell out. I've only got the 1/4 inch, so I really need to find it. And I've went through all my shit so far and cannot. So I have a feeling it's in some of my wood carpentry working shit in the office closet. So I did find another hole saw bit, but it is substantially bigger than that one, as you see. And I'm trying to cut that out even with all the slack it has. And that's not the drill bit hitting the inside, that's actually the outer part right here on the inside of it hitting the edge going around. So that's a no-go. I really need this size because it's like perfect. I would cut that out. It's not really perfect. It's actually a little too big. That's a little too small. That one's definitely too small. But I wanted to cut that out and put this pulley on it and put it in place because this one's the one that came off and it's actually not straight. It's just not straight with the shaft. Maybe I could beat it straight. I don't know. I may try that. Honestly. I'm going to give that a shot tomorrow. If I can beat it straight, then what I'll do is I'll come through here and grind this down to recess the pulley itself up into the engine. I mean, that could be good. So, if not, I was going to come through and use this one, but I didn't want to downsize the pulley swap. Because, you know, original pulley, something like that. Then you got your deck pulley, which is something like that, but most people just flip them. Well, if you look at this one, we'll sit this one dead center on top. You can see the other one is bigger, much bigger. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, it's bigger. So I don't really want to use just that one. If I do have to use this shaft, it doesn't have a keyway in it, which that's one thing I don't like. I'll have to drill through the shaft on the engine, and I don't typically like doing that unless it's an engine I'm not really too concerned about. This is a V-twin, and I don't want to trash it. I'd rather keep it the way it needs to be, but modified. So if we have to go this route, what I may do is I may cut it like here, cut it right above here, and then cut some of that down in there. So I'd have this piece right here, and then cut it out of there, and then slide everything up onto the shaft, and then while I have it on the shaft and bolt it in, I'll weld that all the way around so it does have a key. I could do that, but it'd be a lot of welding and a lot of fabricating, because I'm going to have to drill this off, get this centered up on here after I drill this pulley off. Actually, what I could do is, instead of drilling that pulley off there, I could cut this right about somewhere in here, and then drill this pulley off instead. Then slide this one down, center it up. Yeah, that may be the ticket, because then I wouldn't have to worry about cutting and stuff, because it still has the keyway up here, and then I can figure out, actually I don't even have to cut that pulley off, to be honest with you guys. I could leave that pulley on there, just drill this out, slide it right over it, weld it. Oh, if I can find that arbor, I'm probably going to do that. So let's hope I can find the arbor so I can do that. If not, I probably will just try to straighten this one and grind it. I may still try to do that, honestly, because I could straighten it and then re-weld around to give it more strength, and then grind it down, put it back on there, and it'd work fine. It just depends. I could actually do this to this one and use it for the mud mower that I'm building. So yeah, so I guess what we're going to do now is, I've already got the shaft cleaned. We went ahead and cleaned it just a few minutes ago. I didn't turn the camera on when I did it, but it's clean. Really don't know what else to do at this moment. I don't have, well, I guess what I can do is we can go ahead and slide the pulley up on here. Not the one we're going to use, but this one, just for mock-up. You can see it rides close. That's probably what we're going to want, is something that rides really close to the surface. And I'm wondering if I can't knock this washer out in there and get it just a tad closer, because I don't think that's like stationary. I think it's removable. Oh yeah, it's moving. Just walk it back and forth. long as it don't touch the engine. Oh, that's actually perfect. That is tight. Very tight. That might be a ticket. Honestly. I may have to just go with this. Because it's really close. Even though I don't want to downplay the pulley size. Might be the way to go anyway. So it's looking pretty decent, I guess. Let's figure out with a string or something, is this going to be level enough to cut it? Try to round this belt through. So guys, I think that is indeed going to cut it. I think that's perfect. That's good enough. That is exactly what we want. So, with that pulley on the transaxle flipped the way we have it, and let's see if I can get a good shot of it. There you go. Usually there's a tab. Maybe I can see it now. Not sticking up there. Usually that's flipped over to set the transaxle pulley higher, but since we flipped it, it sat it a little lower on the body of the transaxle itself, and then we sunk this one up towards the engine, and it is perfect. So with that being said, how perfect it is, I may have to use that pulley. I really like how straight everything is. I don't know. Would very much like to use it though. I wonder. So I think what I'm going to do, instead of cutting this out, drilling it out, I'm going to come right here. I think, yeah, this hole saw bit is damn near the exact size of the shaft. So what we're going to do, I'm going to come through here, grab a marker, them Sharpies at? They're in here somewhere. There's one. Okay. So, what we need to do is we need to mark dead center on this guy. That way I can figure out where I need to cut, and I can cut it out square. And then I don't mess it up. Yep. That's the idea. So I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning this surface off with a wire wheel and getting it prepped for tomorrow when we come out here and cut this. Alright, we got that marked out for cutting, and I guess technically I need to do the same to this guy. So we'll do that real quick, and then we can go ahead and, oh, you know what? I could just add another to that. I may do that. We'll see. I guess I'm going to go ahead and go inside. It's getting late. The storm's coming in. Got rain, all that good stuff. So I'm going to go inside and get some editing done. And I'll probably be back out here again tomorrow. Fire going, and yeah, getting some more stuff done on this unit. Probably have to drop the transaxle back out of there again two more times. I'm not sure. We got to add a clutch on there for sure. Got to find a belt. But so far we got all the mounting points on the transaxle, and we got brakes, so that's 2 steps in the right direction. We still got to do the pulley swap on the transaxle, but first I want to get this engine pulley situated. That way it is out of the way. So like I said, we'll be back out here again tomorrow working on pulleys. Fun times. Alright guys, it is day after last day. Check out my new hat. Wife made it, crocheted it. I think it's cool. She's still going to add a little wrench somewhere, but she hasn't finished it. I didn't even ask for the wrench. She just decided she'd throw in a little extra something as a surprise, which I thought was kind of cool. So we tried earlier today to get some drone footage, and unfortunately the drone that was purchased, which was a gift, gets really bad quality footage, like probably some of the worst I've ever had. And I still appreciate you, Butch, for buying it. I appreciate the gift and the thought, but unfortunately it's just not, the camera's not very great. I'm almost wondering if I can mount something to it, which is possible. So with that being said, I was going to try to get some drone footage for the start of the video, kind of showing the, you know, shop and the smoke coming out of the stacks and shit, but no, that footage is not usable. So unfortunately the drone went back inside, and looks like at this point it's just going to be a practice toy. Maybe that's what it is. Practice drone for when I get my real drone and I don't crash it. I don't know. It's really cold. It's about 30 out, but it feels like it's like 25 with the wind chill, so I've got this thing just ablazing today. It's probably 75, 78 degrees in here right now, and nice and comfortable. So what we're going to do is we are going to start pulling the transaxle back out of this thing once again, so we can start with our pulley swap for this mower. Now, we did go ahead and it's got some ooze on it, cooking grease I've been burning. We have got this marked for cutting out, and I do want to get this cut out and on here. I don't know. I may just say to hell with it. And that's a lot of work. I don't know what I want to do, honestly. I kind of want to just tell them to buy some Pulley. Because I really don't want to fool with this. It's going to be a lot of extra work. But then again, I may just try to bend that one down like I said. That may be a little extra easier for me. And then cutting this out, cutting that out, welding it, blah, blah, blah. Just beat that down, straighten it out, and grind this down here to where it fits. But that being said, I guess we're going to go ahead and start working on pulling the transaxle back out so we can figure out this pulley swap, and hopefully this will be the last time we pull the transaxle out of here, because I'd like to get this thing done, get it on the ground, get it moving. Alright, so as you see, we got our transaxle out. I went ahead and started working on this pulley here. I do have it straight. It is nice and straight with the shaft now. I just feed it straight. We ground down our washer out of that hole. There was 3 tabs, 1, 2, and 3. One lines up with the keyway, and the other 2 are off to the side, so I took a round and triangular file and filed those smoothly. And then the last thing I had to do was take that triangular file and file the sides of this last tab just a little bit on the side, so it equals the width of the keyway, and it slid right up on there. So now what we need to do is that needs to be ground down, but it's getting kind of late, so what I'm going to do instead is we're going to mock this up here in the vise, and we're going to drill out these little tabs, or these little rivets, and try to get it to where we can take this pulley off. I've never tried to drill the rivets. I've always tried to cut these off, but this time I'm going to try to drill the rivets and see what it does. And I'm sure there's people out there going, no, don't do that, watch this YouTube video, blah blah blah. I don't look up stuff before I do it. I figured it out myself, because that way I can show y'all trial and error. I can kind of give myself trial and error, and if I fuck up, I always remember it. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and drill these rivets out and see if we can't get this center out without cutting it. Alright, we got our rivets drilled out, and it is doing exactly what I thought. It is press welded through here. I'm taking a hammer and a screwdriver and breaking it loose, but it is coming off the hub. So I'm going to go inside and get some more coffee because it is cold, and get this fire going a little better, and then come back out here and continue beating that off. That doesn't sound right. Continue getting it off. That also doesn't sound right. We're going to continue breaking them welds. Let's just say that. Alright folks, well, it took a while, but my theory was correct. So, just in case y'all haven't seen this in someone else's YouTube video on modifying a mower, or just any mower content in general, pulley content in general, anything to do with a pulley like this, you can drill the rivets and break the contact welds, and you'll be able to pull the hub out. So this unit scrap, and now we have our hub, and it is in perfect shape, ready for another application. So still goes on to the shaft perfectly both ways. So now that that's done, we have our hub for our transaxle ready for that pulley swap. This is already done except for grinding that down and recessing it up into the engine more, and then that will be done. We aren't going to be using really, damn, I ain't used to this cold weather. Let's see here, do I have any other pulleys? Well, that's a 1-inch shafted pulley. I may have to cut this pulley off of this shaft, and we'll use that pulley for the transaxle pulley. You know what? That could work. It's about the same diameter. So we'll actually start mocking this thing up to cut it off. Need to get a hole saw bit or an arbor for that bit that I have, and hope it would cut through that. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this off and start getting this thing ready to be cut, so I can have that pulley for the transaxle. And then really, in all reality, I think that's about it. I don't really see out of my pulleys, I don't think I have any small guys. Got some idlers up there. Got some stuff here, but no, I don't have any small guys. So we will definitely have to cut this one off. So let me get this prepped and we'll figure out where we're going to go from there. Alright, we got our work area cleaned up. The only way I can really cut this is if I find that arbor, and I think it is in my stuff in my office closet. I have construction tools, residential and commercial. I think it dropped into one of those bags when I was using that stuff on a job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through that stuff tonight. I got to put it in bags anyway and organize that closet. So I'm going to see if I can't find that arbor. But what we're going to do real quick is we're going to go ahead and clean up the transaxle. I know I said I wasn't going to do that, but I am. We're going to go ahead and clean it the best we can and get it that much more closer to going back up in there. But we are going to try to find our arbor tonight. That way we can get that cut out, get it on the new hub, and grind that down, and we'll have two pulleys, transaxle and an engine pulley, and then all we got to do is figure out idlers and a clutch, and we're good to go. So let's get to cleaning up a transaxle. Alright, well, we got this thing pretty dang clean. I still have some cleaning to do on the bottom, but the battery is running down. It's cold out here and it's affecting everything. It's affecting my phone, camera batteries, any source of battery. It is definitely affecting. So I'm going to go in and charge these tonight and we'll come back out here again tomorrow where we'll finish cleaning the transaxle. I'll probably take it and hose it off real good, let it dry, and then what we can do is, while we're letting it dry, we can work on our pulley swaps. I am going to try to find that 5/8 arbor tonight. Hopefully we can. That way we can easily take that off, and that will be no issues. But fire's died out. It's just coals, and I'm going to take that advantage to going ahead and go inside. It's like 10:30, and dinner is pretty much done at this point. So yeah, I will see you guys back out here again tomorrow, where we will be tackling the rest of this transaxle pulleys, and if we can, hopefully get it to where all it needs is idler pulleys and clutch. See you guys tomorrow. Alright folks, it is the next day. It's cold out here. Last night we took our transaxle out, cleaned it up. We also came through here and did a bunch of drilling to get our hub free. That is for our transaxle pulley. This is our engine pulley. We also came through here last night, knocked off the end, which was the washer. As you can see, it is straight up through there now, and we filed out the 3 spots, or the 2 spots that held that washer. One of them is the exact spot as the keyway, so we left that one in place. Today we're going to come through here, clean this pulley off, and grind this down till about here. See all the X's where all that's got to go. Then we should have our engine pulley done, and we should be able to work on a transmission pulley. Still got a little bit of cleaning to do on the transaxle. No big deal, we'll get to that. But let's go ahead and set up our cameras and start grinding down this pulley, get it cleaned up and ready to go back on the mower. I'd like to get this done in a couple days if possible. So it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. The only thing that's not perfect is the bottom. Alright, as y'all just saw, we got this cut down, ground down, filed out, and it hugs the engine perfectly. The only thing is, now we don't have enough to bolt it on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to file this out, and we're going to add it to the end. Hopefully that does the trick. I don't think I have any other shafts to use, unless there's that one. I think we're just going to file this one down and weld it in place. Alright, we found an old crankshaft that fits this diameter. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this to make sure everything's straight while we weld. Then we'll have to come back down here and grind some of that off, and it'll be perfect. So let's take this up there and get it welded. Alright, as y'all just saw, we took this up to the other shop and welded this up. We're about to clean the slag off this, get it nice and even, grind this down, because does have a little bit of a on it, and then we should have us a pulley here. So let's go ahead and start with our cleaning and grinding. Alright, got that done. A little bit of a rough edge in there, but it's not too bad. Should slide. Over shaft. Pretty easy. Seeing that we used an old one to line it up. Let's see what it does. Alright. Will it fit? So it needs a little bit of filing. On the inside. So a quick tip for you guys, a chainsaw sharpening file is an amazing friend to have in the shop. Not just for sharpening chains. Looks like we got us a fit, but we indeed have us a fit. Gonna try to straighten this pulley. I think that's going to be perfect. It clears the engine. So that turned out great. Oh, you can't see it. Of course. Hold on. I can see it. Here we go. Turned out great. It is hugging but not touching. It is absolutely perfect. So, we couldn't find the arbor last night. I went through my closet, couldn't find it, so I made one. It's pretty even. I think we gonna have us a hole saw bit here to use. So I guess I start trying to hole saw that out, see if we can't get that pulley off and get it on that hub. Alright, well, my homemade hole saw arbor worked like a dream. Perfect hole. I ain't never cut a hole at perfect. And look at that, guys. Look at that. Right down on it. That is absolutely perfect. I think this is my most perfect pulley swap so far, and it kind of pisses me off that it's not even on my machine. But whatever. We are legit going to have this done tonight. I'm going to take the welder up to the actually what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to pull the welder back out, tack it in here, that way I know it's nice and straight and even, and then we can take it up to the other shop, weld this thing completely solid, and then we'll have us our rear pulley for this unit. This thing should move. This thing should move pretty fast, but we'll see. I'm liking what's going on so far though. That is absolutely perfect. I could not ask for better. So let's get that tacked, get that up to the other shop, weld it completely, get it on the transaxle, and then honestly we may call that transaxle clean, go ahead and shove it back up in there tonight, get the brakes hooked up and everything hooked up except for the pulleys. Of course, we got to do an idler and a clutch pulley. We got to figure out a clutch system, and I got to figure out a clutch rod. But all those things we can take care of later on. What I want to focus on now is getting this welded completely, getting it on the transaxle, getting the transaxle back in, getting the brakes hooked up, getting the wheels on. So let's do that and see if we can't get all that done tonight. Alright, there's transaxle pulley. Has been swapped. Looks perfect to me. I guess let's go ahead and get our transaxle back up in the mower. Well, we are really close to having a final product. Transaxle's in. Both sides. Wheels are on. They've been lubed. Shifter is in. Our mount over here is in. We've also got our brakes fully connected up to the clutch. They work. Everything's been lubed. At this point, I think we can probably trying to think how I want to do this. May need to lift it more. Lower this front down all the way to the ground, that way it has more of a angle. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do, guys. So let's do that real quick so we can get to the bottom side a little easier and look at clutch and idler setup. Well, that's just about going to do it for the night. It's cold and I'm done. We're going to go ahead and snap these fans off. Going ahead and get ready to go inside. We did get our front pulley swapped. Well, modified. It was already swapped. Rear pulley swapped. It's all welded together. Transaxle's in. Wheels are on. Everything's lubed. It's raised up and ready for us tomorrow to come in here and put a clutch, some idlers in, and hopefully after that we'll have us a mower. We'll see. See you guys tomorrow. Alright, back on this unit. last night, pulley swaps. Those are done. Transaxle and engine. So all we got to do now is clutch and idler and a belt and a battery and some gas, and then we can ride this thing. So first things first, let's tackle the pulleys. I want to see about getting a idler and a clutch in there. So I got to looking at where there's spots for idlers and stuff, and there really ain't much, to be honest with you. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go pull the Troy built up here, which is the parts mower that I have been parting out, my old lawnmower. I think I'm going to pull it up here so I can yank some parts off of it. What is this? Dirt? Something of that sort. Thought it was a crack in the wheel there for a minute. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get the Troy built up here with the tow rig and see what parts we can't harvest off of it. I do have the old Vari-Drive pulley bracket. Got the Vari-Drive pulley off, and I can cut this stud off if I need to and use this bracket in the same position that it was in. And I've also got the old Transaxle bracket that we can use in a different place for the clutch. But I don't know exactly what else I might need. So let's go get the key, get the tow rig, get the Troy built, get it up front, and see what parts we can't harvest off of it for the clutch and the idler pulleys on this mower. Alright, got the Troy built up here. Let's see what's under this thing we can take out. Honestly, I probably need to go ahead and pull the Transaxle, so let's do that real quick. Alright, we got our Transaxle out. Front belt's still on it. Took a couple linkages out too. I did leave the Transaxle altogether with the bolts and everything. I'm not sure if we can use anything off of that now that I'm looking at it, but it needed to come out anyway. I guess I'm gonna get this to the back, get this inside, and figure out maybe what else I could harvest parts from for this build. Alright, unfortunately I cannot find a belt that fits this, but we did get an idler in. Here, let me get a light. We did get an idler in right here, and then we got a clutch. Still have to hook the clutch up, but it's there. So all we really need is a belt, hook the clutch up, battery, gas. I'm not sure we're going to be able to finish this one in this video because of the fact that I don't have a belt. I'm not paying for one. This is Shaggy's machine. He's going to have to get it, and there's no telling when he's going to get it. So with that being said, probably come out here tomorrow, hook up the clutch, and then see where we're at from there. Alright folks, that is what we got last night. Idler and a clutch. I went ahead and put some belt catches on there. We are going to add a couple of more pulleys to this system to kind of give it a belt routing system. So for one, the belt will route around the clutching system up in here, and it will also give it more of a bite. That way when we do clutch, that the belt won't fall off. Everything will have belt catches on it. Still got to figure out the clutch, but what I want to do tonight is add a couple of pulleys up in there. That way maybe that will help the situation and maybe even help one of these longer belts that I have on the wall fit. So it's a nice hope. Let's go ahead and get started drilling some holes and getting some pulleys up in there. Alright, I'm cutting it short because we're at like a minute and 51, or an hour 51 minutes on the video, and I don't want to make it too long. But we got a heck of a zigzag pattern in there, and we have made the belt fit. So once the clutch is in, it tightens everything up. So what I need to do is I need to take the clutch back off, take the pulley off the clutch. I need to weld a bolt sticking down from there so I can put a spring on it and put spring tension on this unit. And then I need to figure out a clutch linkage from here to here, or this side over here, and then we will have a working belt system, working clutch, working transaxle. Everything should work. Then all we'll need is to possibly clean the carburetor, fuel, and a battery, and this thing should run right and rip around the yard like it has never before. So I'm really happy with that pulley setup. That's probably one of the best I've ever done. It is tight and nice. So I'm gonna go inside, take a break real quick, and then we'll come back out here, pull the clutch off, and finish our modifications. Alright folks, there's our setup. We got a stud here, which is a bolt with 2 nuts. It's got a washer on it to keep the stuff from sliding around and popping off in case. We've got our spring on there. We also have our linkage bent and put in place. Our clutch works. It has spring tension on it, and when I hit the clutch, disengages and hits the brake. Haha! That is the first setup that I've built that has worked absolutely perfectly the first time. Usually it's trial and error, trial and error. This is absolutely perfect. This should run and ride flawlessly. It should be pretty fast too. So I'm trying to keep everything short because we're really there on the video. This is probably going to be a 2-hour and something video, so I hope you guys enjoy it. But what we did is we welded a bolt to our clutch there. I also put in a grommet to keep it from moving around, and then of course the stud here for the clutch spring, and then our rod that goes up there, as you see, and then back to our clutch. All I did was have a longer bolt stick out of this end. I have it tightened down. Then I have another nut that is technically cross-threaded a little bit, but cross-threaded is tight and it won't come off. Leaves a little bit of play in it for it to move around. So now that our clutch is done, we have a front piece to swap out because our plastic one is broken. Where is it broken? Somewhere there, and it won't bolt to the bottom, so we're going to swap that out real quick, get the front end tied up, and then see where we're at. Alright, went ahead and did our facelift. That one is broke, so got a facelift. I went ahead and wrote the speeds. And then where the choke's at, and the directions, and the switch. I've already put gas in it. It's already got a hot battery and the jump box. Key is in it. I'm ready to see if this thing will fire up and run. I hope I don't have to clean the carburetor. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and put y'all on the other camera and see about firing this thing up. Got a hot battery. Got the key in the ignition. Squirt too much fuel down in there. There's our clutch. Turn it on. Give it some choke. Let's see if she'll fire up. Try it. Did fire up. Did stay running. I wonder if the float's stuck. See if that did anything. I just don't see one. It's not wanting to run on its own. I think the carburetor's gone. Never been good to build these. Plus, I know this manifold's jacked out. Yeah, try it. Pulley in here. She wanted to run, just didn't run. Maybe this is something we should come back to tomorrow. Right now it's looking like it's got some wood in the top end from me having sat up for so long. And I really don't want anything to catch on fire here in the shop. Oh, damn, it's foggy. Hold on just a sec, guys. We'll try to see if we can't get it running again tomorrow. Alright, hoping this is the last day on this dude. It is like 26 degrees out right now, and for us southerners, that's cold. The wind's also blowing really hard, so it feels like it's 14 degrees outside. I am bundled up, and I got my hot coffee, but we're going to see if we can't get this thing running today and take it on its little test. God, it's going to be cold if I do, but hey, I'd like to go ahead and finish this up. So let's go get a hot battery, put it on there, and see if we can't get this thing to fire up today. Alright folks, I have tried and tried and tried. I pulled the bowl in the carburetor, cleaned it out, cleaned the jets. There's something fishy wrong with that carburetor, and I don't know what it is, but unfortunately I think this is going to be the end of the video. I do know that the pulley system is working, because all that time that I was turning it over, you know, I'd release the clutch and see how it was moving. It did not pop off once. Even with the clutch on, it kind of did move periodically. Did not pop off. It is still on there. I know our speeds work. I know everything works. Everything's in line. So I know this project's good to go, except for the carburetor. But like I said, we just ain't going to be able to test it, unfortunately. What I'll probably do is have Shaggy, once he gets the carburetor on it and gets it fixed, send me some short videos where I can post up on YouTube, on the channel here, so y'all can see this thing in motion. But I know for a fact it is good, like I said, except for the carburetor. I have his battery charging inside, since it is like legit probably 17 degrees outside right now. I'm about to take my batteries inside. We're about to move this out of the shop, and then I'm probably going to go ahead and get started on a video for week after next. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm sorry that we couldn't test it out in this video, but like I said, I don't have a carburetor, and I can't wait for him to get one. Could go ahead and get it, could take forever. He's ready to get it back. I'm just going to let him get it, and he can install a carburetor. He's not a stupid man. He knows how to work on these. So that being said, go down and leave a like, comment down below. It's much appreciated. It helps the channel out a lot. Everybody that comments and likes the video, I surely appreciate you guys. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Jeff in Virginia and all your buddies. Thanks for watching, and shout out to Michael and Braddock for the gift again, and for watching the channel and being fans. I surely appreciate you guys for watching. If y'all have a build that y'all are working on, I'd love to see it. So anybody that's watching, Flyin Garage Mud and Race Mowers on Facebook, post your builds. If it's car, go-kart, mini bike, mowers, three-wheeler, four-wheeler, it doesn't matter. Anything with wheels, a steering wheel, handlebars, and an engine, even if it's electric, post it up. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and yeah, that's it. Facebook and Instagram, because we're not doing TikTok anymore. Adventuring to Brian, if y'all are into that adventuring and exploring abandoned content, that'll be a link in the description. Find Brian's Game Vault, link in the description. We're still working on getting that going, but I'd love to see that subscriber list climb before I even get a video out. That'd be awesome, just to, you know, go show me some love over there, both of them channels. We do have some videos in the works we're about to jump on. Working on, we have a belt catch to put on that. We're going to do that, take it for a ride. We're going to fix the Bandit, clean it up, take it for a ride. We're going to clean that up. We're going to fix this, clean it up, take it for a ride. Maybe even put some new front wheels and tires on it. But we have some things in the works. I've also got a couple projects coming from Shaggy over at Shaggy Small Engines. Y'all check him out on Facebook and YouTube. What is it? Shaggy's Repairs on Facebook, and then Shaggy Small Engines on YouTube. So y'all be sure to go show him some love, follow and subscribe to him on those platforms, and y'all might even see this over there as well. But yeah, we're pretty much done with this guy. It's getting shipped out the door. So transaxle swap, full complete, pulley modification underneath, custom clutch and brake setup, custom but stock, of course. Facelift, so metal front end instead of the plastic one. I am going to give him his plastic one back as well, just in case he wants it, and that's it. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Hit that all notification bell, that way you're notified every time we put out a new video. Once or twice a week, sometimes put out some shorts too, so y'all be sure to stay tuned for all that. If you want to get in touch with me personally, you can email me, FlyinBrian2293@gmail.com. That is FLYINBRIAN2293@gmail.com. All of that's one word, lowercase, all the numbers, all conglomerated, no spaces. Because I've had a couple of people ask me if they could, you know, have a place for me to message, and I know some people don't have Facebook, some people don't have Instagram, so if that's your route, you can email me there. And with all that being said, I do believe I have said everything I need to, so I will see you guys on the next episode. And if y'all are in the Flyin Brian's Garage mood, y'all can go back down to the channel, click on playlist, there's a bunch of stuff there. So see you guys on the next one.